Black played. On c4, pause the video to find out white's response. Black is preparing to play. Bishop b6 check. King f1. Queen takes f5 check. Queen takes f5. Pawn takes f5 and sees the initiative. Bishop a3 played by white. White might go for Bishop f8 check. King h8. Bishop h6 check. Rook takes e8. Pawn promotes to queen at dx e8 mate and secure a stronghold in the game. Pawn b4 was chosen by black. Black is preparing to play. Bishop b6 check. King f1. Pawn takes a3 and take decisive advantage. Bishop takes b4 move preferred by white. Bishop takes b4. Pawn takes b4. Queen b6 check. King f1. White is planning to play. Queen e5 check. Queen f6. Queen takes f6 check. King takes f6. Rook takes d8 and establish a winning position. On c3 move preferred by black. Black's idea is to play. On c2. Rook e1. Queen takes b4 and sees the initiative. Rook takes d8 was chosen by white. Queen takes d8. King e2. White might go for King d3. Pawn a6. Pawn takes g6. Pawn takes g6. King takes c3 and take decisive advantage. King f6 played by black. Queen c6 check. King g5. Queen c8. Queen e7 check. King f3. Pawn c2. Pawn promotes to queen at d8. White is setting up to play. Queen takes e7 check. Pawn f6. Queen takes h7. Pawn promotes to rook at c1. Pawn h4 mate and secure a stronghold in the game. Queen takes d8 played by black. Queen takes d8 check. King takes f5. White is in a commanding position. Let's go to the next game. White made a move. Pawn e5. Pause the video and try to find black's next move. Queen f4 check. Queen e4. Queen d2 check. Queen d3. White considers playing queen takes d2 and secure a stronghold in the game. Queen takes a 2 move preferred by black. King c5. Queen f2 check. Queen d4. Queen c2 check. King d6. Rook d8 check. King e7. Queen c7 check. King e6. Queen c8 check. Rook d7. Pawn a2. Black wants to play. Pawn promotes to queen at a1 and establish a winning position. King e7 was chosen by white. Rook takes d7 check. Queen takes d7. Queen takes d7 check. King takes d7. Pawn promotes to queen at a1. Black might go for queen takes e5 and seize the initiative. King e6. White has no response. Let's go to the next game. Black just played. Pawn e5. Pause the video to figure out white's next move. Pawn takes e5 check. King takes e5. Pawn c4. White is looking to play pawn takes b5 and dominate the board. Pawn b4 was chosen by black. Black wants to play pawn takes a3 and gain a significant edge. Pawn takes b4 was chosen by white. Pawn takes b4. King c2. King takes e4. King b3. King f5. King takes b4. Pawn h5. King b5. White is aiming to play. Pawn c5. King f4. On c6. King e3. On c7. King f2. On promotes to queen at c8 and dominate the board. King e6 move preferred by black. King c6. On g5. On c5. King e5. King d5. King d5. On c6. King d4. On c7. King e3. On promotes to queen at c8. White is setting up to play. Queen f5. On g4. Queen takes h5 and gain a significant edge. On g4 black is on the verge of defeat. Let's go to the next game. Black made a move. Rook b3. Pause the video and try to find white's next move. Rook b5. Rook c3 check. King d7. Rook d3 check. King e7. Rook e3 check. King f7. Rook f3 check. King g6. White intends to play. On b7. Rook f8. On promotes to queen at b8. Rook takes b8. Rook takes b8 and gain a significant edge. Rook f8 played by black. Rook takes h5 check. King g3. On b7. Rook b8. Rook b5. King f4. King f7. King e3. King e6. King d3. King d5. Rook d8 check. King c6. White is planning to play. Rook d5 check. Rook takes d5. King takes d5 and dominate the board. Rook b8 was chosen by black. King c7. Rook takes b7 check. King takes b7. King e4. White has a strong upper hand. Let's go to the next game. White just played. On a3. Pause the video to find out black's response. On c5. Black is planning to play. On c4. On takes c4. On takes c4. King f2. King takes h2 and establish a winning position. King h1 played by white. On a4. Black is setting up to play. Pawn takes b3 and put immense pressure on the opponent. On takes a4 was chosen by white. On takes a4. King g1. King g4. Black intends to play. King f3. On c4. King e3. King g2. King d4. King g3. King takes c4 and take decisive advantage. King f2 was chosen by white. King f4. King e2. King e4. Black might go for. On c4. King d2. King f3. King d1. King g2. On h4. King g3. King c1. King takes h4 and put immense pressure on the opponent. King d2 move preferred by white. King f3. King d3. On h4. King c4. King g2. King takes c5. King takes h2. King b4. King g3. On c4. On h3. King b5. On h2. King c6. On promotes to queen at h1 check. King b5. White has no response. Let's go to the next game. Black just played. Knight f5. Pause the video and try to predict white's next move. Black might go for knight takes g3 and establish a winning position. Knight takes f5 played by white. King takes f5. On b5. White is looking to play. On g4 check. King e6. On takes h5 and dominate the board. On takes b5 played by black. On takes b5. King e6. On g4. White is aiming to play pawn takes h5 and put immense pressure on the opponent. Pawn takes g4 move preferred by black. Pawn takes g4. King d5. King c3. White is looking to play king d3. King e6. King e4. King d7. King f5. King d6. King takes f6 and establish a winning position. King d6 played by black. King d2. King c7. King d3. King d7. King e4. White intends to play king d5. King d8. King d6. King e8. King c7. Pawn f5. Pawn takes f5 and gain a significant edge. King d6 move preferred by black. King f5. King d5. King takes f6. King c4. Pawn d5. White intends to play pawn d6. King d3. Pawn d7. King d4. Pawn promotes to queen at d8 check and dominate the board. King takes d5 played by black. King takes g5. On the 5. Pawn takes a6. King c6. White is dominating the board. Let's go to the next game. White just played on a3. Pause the video to find out black's response. Pawn takes g4. Pawn takes g4. On g5. On a4. On the 5. Black wants to play pawn takes b4 and seize the initiative. Pawn takes a5 was chosen by white. Pawn takes a5. King c5. King takes e5. King b6. On c5. Black might go for pawn c4. King c7. King e6. King b6. Pawn c3. King c5. Pawn c2. King d4. Pawn promotes to queen at c1 and establish a winning position. King takes c5 was chosen by white. King takes f6. King d6. King g7. Black considers playing pawn f5. King e5. Pawn takes g4 and take decisive advantage. King d5 was chosen by white. King f8. King d4. King e7. King e5. Pawn f6 check. King d5. King d7. Black is aiming to play King e7. King d4. King d6. King e4. King e6. King d4. Pawn f5. King e3. Pawn takes g4 and take decisive advantage. King c5 was chosen by white. King e6. King d4. Pawn f5. King e3. Pawn takes g4. King e4. White has no response. Let's go to the next game. White just played King g6. Pause the video and try to predict black's next move. On c5. King takes h6. Pawn takes b4. Pawn takes b4. On the 5. Black wants to play king takes b4 and dominate the board. Pawn f4 was chosen by white. White considers playing pawn takes g5 and establish a winning position. Pawn takes f4 was chosen by black. On g5. King takes b4. Pawn g6. Pawn f3. Pawn g7. Pawn f2. Pawn promotes to queen at g8. White is looking to play queen g4 check. King c5. Queen f3. Pawn promotes to queen at f1. Queen takes f1 and take decisive advantage. Pawn promotes to queen at f1 played by black. Queen g4 check. Queen c4. Black wants to play queen takes g4 and gain a significant edge. Queen g1 played by white. Queen c6 check. King g7. Queen c3 check. King g6. On a4. Queen b1 check. King c4. Queen e4 check. Queen d4. Queen c6 check. King b4. Black considers playing queen d3 check. King g5. Queen g3 check. King h6. Queen takes h3 check and dominate the board. Queen c2 was chosen by white. Queen d6 check. King f7. Queen d7 check. King f6. Queen takes h3. Queen b2 check. Black is dominating the board. Let's go to the next game. Black just played. On c4 check. Pause the video to figure out white's next move. King c2. White intends to play knight takes d8 and gain a significant edge. Bishop f6 played by black. On g5. White is setting up to play pawn takes f6 and establish a winning position. Bishop h8 move preferred by black. Knight c7. King takes a4. King c3. White's idea is to play king takes c4 and take decisive advantage. King a3 was chosen by black. Knight b5 check. King a2. King c2. On c3. Knight d6. White is aiming to play knight c4. Bishop g7. Knight takes a5 and gain a significant edge. King a3 was chosen by black. King takes c3. On a4. Knight c4 check. King a2. Knight b6. White might go for knight takes a4 and take decisive advantage. On a3 played by black. King c2. White is looking to play knight d5. Bishop g7. Knight c3 check. King a1. King b3. Bishop f8. On g6. Bishop g7. King takes a3 and establish a winning position. King a1 was chosen by black. Knight d5. Bishop g7. Knight c3. Bishop f8. King b3. Bishop d6. Knight b5. White is planning to play knight takes d6 and secure a stronghold in the game. King b1 move preferred by black. Knight takes a3 check. King c1. Knight c4. White is setting up to play knight takes d6 and secure a stronghold in the game. Bishop f8 played by black. King c3. King b1. Knight takes e5. Bishop e7. Black has no response. Let's go to the next game. Black just played. On a5. Pause the video to find out white's response. On g6. Queen d4 check. King g3. Queen e5 check. On f4. White is preparing to play queen c8 check. Queen e8. Queen takes e8 mate and secure a stronghold in the game. Queen e6 move preferred by black. Queen d3. White considers playing queen d8 check. Queen g8. Queen h4 check. Queen h7. Queen takes h7 mate and gain a significant edge. Queen e8 played by black. King f2. White wants to play queen h3 check. King g8. Queen h7 check. King f8. Queen h8 check. King e7. Queen takes g7 check and dominate the board. King g8 move preferred by black. Queen d6. On a4. On f5. White might go for Queen h2. Queen b5. Queen h7 check. King f8. Queen h8 check. King e7. Queen takes g7 check, and gain a significant edge. Pawn a3 was chosen by black. Queen takes a3. Queen b8. Queen a2 check. King h8. Black is looking to play. Queen h2 check. King f3. Queen takes a2, and increase their advantage significantly. King g1 move preferred by white. Queen b6 check. Queen f2. Queen b1 check. Queen f1. Queen b6 check. King g2. Queen c6 check. Queen f3. White's idea is to play. Queen takes c6. King g8. Queen 8 mate, and seize the initiative. Queen d5 was chosen by black. King g3. White considers playing. Queen h5 check. King g8. Queen h7 check. King f8. Queen h8 check. King e7. Queen takes g7 check, and gain a significant edge. Queen b3 was chosen by black. King g4. Queen c4 check. King h3. Queen d5. Queen h5 check. King g8. Queen h7 check. King f8. Queen h8 check. Queen g8. Queen takes g8 check. King takes g8. King g3. King f8. King f4. King e8. King e4. King f8. King d5. White intends to play. King d6. King e8. King e6. King d8. King f7. King d7. King takes g7, and establish a winning position. King e7 was chosen by black. King e5. White might go for. King e4. King d7. On f6. On takes f6. On g7. King c6. On promotes to queen at g8, and gain a significant edge. King d7 was chosen by black. On f6. On takes f6 check. King takes f6. King d6. White has a decisive advantage. Let's go to the next game.